Good evening. I am Shobha, Division G Award Coordinator and your Sergeant at Arms for this evening. Toastmasters International is a non-profit educational organization spread across 145 countries focusing on enhancing public speaking and leadership skills. Today, we have a special meeting organized by Division G of District 121. District 121 covers Kerala Karnataka region and was selected as the world's second best district in its club program quality initiatives. Our Division G spans over 7 cities of Kerala from Ernakulam to Trivandrum. Now, let me state the mission of Toastmasters and set the ground rules for the meeting today. The mission of a Toastmasters club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every member has the opportunity to develop communication and leadership skills, which in turn foster self-confidence and personal growth. For this meeting, we have certain protocols to follow. Please stay muted and maintain the decorum of the virtual platform. You may use emoticons to upload and appreciate the speakers. The Zoom masters are distinguished Toastmaster Shashi Tharoor, Toastmaster J. Kishore, and Toastmaster Jacob Tara. With that, let me invite our energetic and enterprising MC of the day, Toastmaster Niranjana Narayan. Niranjana is the Public Relations Manager of Division G. She will be leading the special meeting today with our very special guest. Over to you, Toastmaster Niranjana.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shobha. Good evening. In our earnest effort to engage, enthrall, and entertain Toastmasters and guests, Division G is elated to present to you iconic voices, finding your voice in the noise. We explore today's theme in conversation with our guest of honor, the Honorable Member of Parliament, Dr. Shashi Tharoor. Sir, we welcome you to this event, and it is indeed our privilege, prestige, and pleasure to host an event with the wordsmith incarnate himself. We stand here today on the shoulders of giants, and I take this opportunity to welcome our past district directors. We are also enriched by the presence of the district trio of Toastmasters International, District 121. Distinguished Toastmaster Vanitha Rangarajan Jha, District Director. Distinguished Toastmaster Narayanan N, Program Quality Director. And Distinguished Toastmaster Arjun Sundar Raj, Club Growth Director. We have dignitaries from other districts and regions embracing the four corners of the globe. Division G welcomes you to this event, and we are indebted to you for attending the event in spite of the varied time zones. We also acknowledge the presence of and extend a warm welcome to the District 121 Top 8, Division Directors, Area Directors, and Club Officers. Last but not the least, we welcome all the Toastmasters who have eagerly waited for this day and the guests who have joined us to capture the essence of the experience the Toastmasters fraternity provides. It is our sincere hope that it will be a memorable, informative, interesting, and invigorating experience in the august company of the mesmerizing maestro of language, literature, legislation, and learning. I now call on to the virtual stage Distinguished Toastmaster Jane Jose, Assistant Division Director for Program Quality, to introduce our guest of honor, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Thiruvananthapuram, Dr. Shashi Tharoor.
Farrago, ostentation, floxy, nausea, nihilification are just some of the words that this man casually threw at the world, prompting everyone to tear into their dictionaries. Known for his penchant of rarely used English words, he is indeed the undisputed grammar icon cum vocabulary genius of Indian politics. Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters International must have done something right to be honored with the master of Queen's language himself, Dr. Shashi Tharoor. Dr. Shashi Tharoor, a third-term member of parliament for Thiruvananthapuram, is the best-selling author of 22 books, both fiction and non-fiction. Besides being a former Under-Secretary General of the United Nations and a former Minister of State for Human Resource Development and for External Affairs in the Government of India, he has won numerous awards, including the Pravasi Bharatya Samman, a Commonwealth Writers' Prize, and the Crossword Lifetime Achievement Award. In 2019, Dr. Tharoor was also awarded the Sahitya Academy Award in the category of English non-fiction for his book, An Era of Darkness. He also chairs Parliament's Standing Committee on Information Technology. I have personally watched all his videos and it has left a spark in me. Waiting impatiently to hear the iconic voice of today. Thank you, and over to the Master of Ceremony.
It's the moment we've all been waiting for. I request Dr. Shashi Tharoor and distinguished Toastmaster Mini Mohan, Division G Director, to take the virtual stage for iconic voices, finding your voice in the noise.
Thank you, Toastmaster Niranjana. Good evening, sir. It is a pleasure to have you with us. Less than a decade ago, I was tasked with organizing an event. Tired and frustrated with the chaos reigning in the auditorium, I sat down for a moment to gather my thoughts. The sound of a YouTube video caught my attention. My curiosity piqued, and I could not help but listen. Soon, like ants scampering around honey, one by one, irrespective of age and gender, everyone dropped what they were doing and huddled around the person holding the smartphone to listen to the lucidly articulate words of a confident speaker, sparring with words laced with humor. As the video came to an end, we all erupted in an applause, asking, "Who was that?" We now know that to be the iconic voice of Dr. Shashi Tharoor from his famous Oxford debate, a video that went viral and a debate that they won. From then on, hearing perk-up messages like, "Be a Tharoor, spice up your speech," to observing every Toastmaster wanting to have your confidence and command over the language. I admire that you have the willingness, wit, and wisdom to fortify and fend for your own beliefs and opinions. With 22 books, both fiction and non-fiction, innumerable speeches, 8.1 million followers on Twitter, and so on, you are an icon, a polymath, looked up on by both the young and old alike. One of the aspects we concentrate in Toastmasters fraternity is effective and efficient communication. We would like to hear what works for you to have your voice heard over this cacophony. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Minnie. I'm really here to answer all your questions, but I want to congratulate all of you for your devotion to effective public speaking. I see we have almost 580 people listening in into this conversation. And certainly, given very severe constraints on my time this evening, I hope I can give you answers to specific questions that will be useful to all of you as you go forward. Everyone's experience is different. We all come from different backgrounds and different opportunities. I was fortunate in going to a series of schools that gave a lot of importance to debating, elocution, and speech contests, and to be blessed with parents who pushed me into participating in all of these. So as with many, many skills one acquires in life, I started young and I practiced frequently because I was constantly in these contests, with the result that I acquired the skills that today you are also kindly appreciating. Other people may not have had the same opportunities or been to the same kind of schools, but have had to catch up by watching others at work. Ultimately, however, the key lesson to remember is that effective communication is the single most important asset in any profession, whatever it is that you want to do in life as a career, whatever you are doing professionally right now. The ability to articulate your ideas in a way that is compelling to the listener can take you very far, whether it's a sales presentation, it's a political argument, it's a debate in a university, it's trying to convince your colleagues in an office about where to have lunch. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, having the ability to marshal your thoughts and use them coherently to actually persuade others to change their minds or to be convinced of what you're saying is one of the biggest skills in any profession. And anything I can say to you today that will help you all as a clue to going forward there, I'm very happy to help. Back to you for your next question.
In the noise that this world is, like with all the social media, and you have Facebook, you have Twitter, you have everything. Where do you draw the line between pleasing the audience and being authentic to your principles?
Oh, I think your own authenticity, your own integrity is fundamental. Without it, communication is frankly futile, because ultimately, why should people want to listen to you if you are not true to yourself? So to my mind, the most important thing is to know exactly who you are, what you believe, what you stand for, and then to speak on the basis of those convictions. I think that if you are trying merely to please an audience and you are saying things you don't believe in, you are betraying yourself, first of all. And secondly, why should they listen to you if what they're getting is a fake version of you and not the authentic reflection of your real thoughts and beliefs? Authenticity and personal integrity should never be abandoned in the interest of a good speech. In fact, effective communication starts off with authenticity as its core basis.
I have seen you use wit as something to actually put out the facts more effectively, and seen you do a stand-up. Are you still waiting for your Caesar salad would be the question you have been asked quite a bit. But you have sort of explored different venues when it comes to that. For us, humorous speeches are like a killer. Like that's like how you test your mettle. So how do you incorporate? Do you do it intentionally, or is it something natural?
Well, I actually enjoy humor. I enjoy reading humor. I enjoy hearing and watching humor, and I enjoy expressing it myself. So because it's something that I personally enjoy, I'm very happy to be able to be in a position to do it myself for an audience. So if I can do it well, I know that what I'm doing will give me pleasure and give an audience pleasure. But yes, structuring it right is a challenge. I have to tell you, it's much easier in the Western world, where people not only expect it from you, but almost want you to do it. So I find that it is standard practice in most Western audiences that you will begin a speech with a joke or even two, and that you will enliven what you have to say with a humorous anecdote or a funny wisecrack in the course of your remarks. I came to India, and particularly in Kerala, I discovered the opposite is true. You crack your first joke and you find the audience looking at you in shocked incomprehension, and there is this deathly silence. It is enough to kill you. The same joke that may get you 1 million laughs to a Western audience may get you the shock reaction because the audience neither expects humor nor appreciates it. And that becomes a real challenge. There are certain audiences where that's part of the game, but most general audiences in India don't know how to handle humor. They feel slightly embarrassed when a distinguished speaker is cracking a joke. They don't know whether it's impolite to laugh. So I rapidly eliminated humor from most of my speeches to general audiences in India because they wouldn't go over well. Whereas I might deliver a speech on the same topic somewhere else in a Western, to a Western audience or in the Western world, I would always crack jokes or go on about it. Now, of course, there are more sophisticated audiences available in India, which have been part of that broader culture, if you like, which incorporates and expects humor in its discourses. Top corporations, mixed audiences where international and Indian audiences are present together, and so on. And there you can risk a joke. And if a joke works well, then you know you can have the freedom to crack more jokes. When a joke falls flat, then you immediately should start eliminating other jokes, because nothing is worse for the success of a speech than making jokes that people don't appreciate. And sometimes you actually have to think on your feet, gosh, I got this audience wrong. This is not the kind of thing that's working with them. So having the ability to be attentive to your audience, see what they appreciate, and fine-tune what you are saying so that you can express your own ideas. The ideas must not change, but you can express them in a way that reaches what the audience wants through the way that the audience appreciates. That's the way forward. So in my own view, very often you will find yourselves in a situation where you've come with a prepared joke or a prepared story or a prepared line of argument, and you find that there is no responsiveness from the audience. You need to have the capacity to adjust your approach and make the same point, perhaps in a more serious tone, because that's how they're going to get it and they're going to react to it. Or find other examples, non-funny examples, that will still enable you to tell a story. Telling a story is a great way of capturing an audience's interest. But it doesn't have to be a joke if the audience is not in the mood for humor. Tell them a serious story, tell them a human interest story, tell them a story about the news or about a famous person they've heard of. Tell them a story that makes your point, but not necessarily a funny story. That depends on your ability to gauge what the audience is looking for.
So understanding the audience is the key to every kind of speech.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
and research on them.